Hello and welcome to Star Citizen. My name is evenleasesc, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, I have the RSI Mantis, an interdiction quantum dampening ship. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has entered into the giveaway so far that I have going on. If you haven't entered yet, look at the description down below and there'll be a link to that giveaway video. So make sure you enter. You guys are all truly amazing, so every chance I get to do a giveaway, I'm going to go ahead and make sure to do that. I have another one here starting soon due to the cargo update. I was hoping to get another giveaway started, so keep an eye out for that. Now, starting off with the Roberts Space Industries Mantis. This thing is an interdiction ship capable of snaring and also quantum dampening or jamming, other ships out there in the verse. So let's go ahead and get into what that means. Now, before I do, this ship is $150 on the Pledge Store if you were to buy it with real money, or if you buy it in game, it is $3,402,000 aUEC. Definitely not a terrible price point if you like the idea of pulling people out of quantum travel. Now, there's really only two roles you're going to be, performing with this ship. You're either going to be out there trying to police people, or you're out there trying to pirate people. This ship doesn't really have any other role outside of that, because you are going to either be bounty hunting and using the quantum, dampening, where you jam their quantum drive up, and you prevent them from jumping out of a situation. So that's really fun if you're bounty hunting. Or you're using this to quantum snare people, which pulls people out of quantum travel to try and pirate them, depending on what they are and what they're carrying. So there's some pretty exciting gameplay with this ship out there if you do decide to give it a try. Now, it does have 568 stock DPS. Now, that's using two size 3 FL-33 laser cannons. I'm going to go ahead and go over the changes between 3.22, where I last changed this ship, to now, which is 3.24.1, and kind of give you an idea what's really changed. Not too much, but honestly, there's been a couple changes. The weapon sizes haven't changed, but the FL-33 laser cannons went from 31 capacitor to a 43 capacitor stock, which is quite a big change if you ask me, because that extra 12 in the capacitor allows you to continuously fire for a bit longer without having to modify your power triangle, and that is quite amazing. Outside of those two laser cannons, you also have two size 2 Dominator 2 missiles and two size 2 Ignite 2 missiles. So, not really the greatest missile payload if you were to compare it to other QED style ships like the Cutlass Blue. While that ship doesn't have a snare, it does have a quantum dampening device, and it has, a lot of missiles. Now, still not bad though. I'm happy it does have missiles, and they're located on the front of the ship. Outside of that, this ship does have a 3,000 bubble shield, which is quite honestly pretty terrible. When you get into a fight or you're out there trying to snare people, the last thing you're going to really be focusing on is keeping that shield up, because it's going to go down within a few shots anyways. So that's something to really, consider and understand. When you're using this ship and modifying your power triangle, it's probably best to keep it on all the weapons so you can have those capacitors over 60, allowing you to have consistent fire for a lot longer, and it recharges those weapons a lot faster. Because I'll be honest, when you're hitting with this ship or getting hit with this ship, that shield's going to go down very fast. But thankfully, it is an interdiction classed ship, so before we talk about speed, I'll just let you know she's pretty quick. This ship has 31,776 ship HP. I'd say for the size of ship, it's pretty average. You know, most ships this size that are classed as fighters or interdictors, they have that about that much HP. They're usually maybe a little bit lower, and sometimes there's one or two that are a bit higher, but this is right in that range. So I think that's not a bad point. It's got a pretty good amount of health points. You just got to be careful not to let these engine nacelles get taken out, because if you start losing, if you even lose one, there's a pretty good chance you're going to end up in a death spin, and that is no fun when that happens. So try to keep them off your engines. Past that, of course, this thing does not have an SCU cargo grid. There's really no room for it on the interior, which I'm about to get into. But it does have a 0.71 internal storage, so that does allow you to store internally, like weapons and armor and stuff like that. I'll take a look at the interior though and let you know if that's possible right now. Now, outside of that, let's talk about that ship speed. It's an interdictor, and it's able to quantum snare and jam with a top speed of 236 SCM, a top forward boost of 605, and a backwards boost of 257. Now, the nav speed is 1,393. That's actually, this whole thing is just great when it comes to speed. This thing can really get moving, and it can keep up with most targets that you're going to be pulling out of quantum trial, if not all. Think about it. If you're trying to quantum dampen or snare a caterpillar, you're going to have no trouble keeping up with it. Even a lot of fighters are much slower than you, so you will have absolutely no problem getting away from most ships, as well as keeping up with them, which is fantastic. That is something to definitely consider when you're out there with this ship. Now, past that, you do have 2,950 quantum fuel. So that changed. It was a lot less quantum fuel prior. Now you're at almost 3,000 quantum fuel. And so given the fact that this ship not only I feel like it got faster, it's hard to say that because prior, you didn't really have that speed limitation while you're in combat. But if you really kind of consider it, it does feel fast compared to all the other ships, and I feel like that speed really got a boost because of that. So that's kind of cool. So that's really your big changes between 3.22 and now is your weapons capacitors, your quantum fuel, and your speed. And potentially your shield and your ship HP changed a little bit too. My prior review was terrible. I'll give you that. I didn't discuss those stats, so I can't really compare it. Now, looking at the interior here, when you do come up this elevator ramp, you do have quite a few different things. First, you can see you do have a bed, a very beautiful designed interior with some nice lighting. Over here, you're going to have some of your components, which are not currently accessible. No components and no gold standard pass on this ship. Right here's like a little kitchen area where you can make some food, get some drinks. That's pretty nice. Can't wait to see that evolve later. And then over here, past the bed, you do have a restroom hidden behind this door, and you can go ahead and sit on that toilet. I prefer not to currently at this time because I would like to continue this review and not be sucked into the void. Moving past the bed here, which honestly, it's a typical RSI bed. You're not going to have too much comfort, even though they expect you to be out there for a little while. It's going to be like laying on a sheet of rock. So enjoy that. Right here is your quantum dampening or quantum snare device. The QED or QD device is right here, and it looks phenomenal. As you can see on screen, I tried to quantum snare somebody for this video, but I was unable to, which is too bad, just because, I'm in the PTU right now, so there's a good chance the 4 or 5 different locations that I tried to quantum snare people, I just, wasn't finding anybody, which is all right. I'm not the type to really pirate anyways, so just more for demonstration. But if you can see on screen, it is quite phenomenal, and it looks great. I think they did just such a great job with the effects, the sound effects, everything visually just looks fantastic. So love that about this ship. Now back to the interior here. I mean, there's nothing else really going on for it. There is no ability to get to your internal storage at this time. So that internal storage is kind of useless. There's no way to get to it, which is too bad. If you were to go ahead and get in your pilot seat, the way that you would operate the QED or snare is very easy. It's right in front of you when the systems turn on, which I'll go ahead and show you here. Once you are in the seat, it's going to be on the left is for the quantum device to just turn it on, and then you can operate the snare from right there. On the right side is the Quantum device and the Quantum jammer. Now, when you snare somebody, you can snare someone up to 20,000 meters, and you can also jam somebody up to 12,000 meters. So that also changed from prior versions. It used to be a lot less than that on the jamming side of things, but now you can jam up to 12,000. Another worthy note to kind of think about is when you do snare a ship and you keep your QED on, it does allow you to continue jamming it up to 20,000 meters. So you can keep them in that bubble. You're going to hold them off. Now let's go ahead and talk about my review score on this ship. It did drop a little bit because the fact of it is I did change the way that I score my ships just to be a little bit more realistic on how these ships are performing. Now this thing has an extremely high EM rating, so that is definitely something to consider. When you're out there, you're going to be visible to everybody within 15-20 kilometers. Outside of that, this thing is still a great ship. Even with my score being a 6 out of 10, it's still a fantastic ship. It's a lot of fun and it looks great. It's a nice little single-seater ship that you can get and fly out there. The store price is a bit high, but the in-game price is pretty good. So let me know what you think of the RSI Mantis down in the comments below. Do you have one? Have you ever operated one? What do you think of what it's capable of doing? Are you a fan of being able to be pulled out of quantum travel by a ship like this? It is quite the question. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.